The existence of angels in the world of Black Clover would change the entire direction of the story as we know it. Because the Magic Knights, the characters within the story, are very strong. The problem is that the devils are too strong, and that's the issue. They are so powerful that to the point they can fuse together, even though this may be exclusive to Nama and Lilith, but I wouldn't be surprised if other devils can fuse together. And then we have Lucifero, who's only at 50% power, who is just too strong for Asta in his Devil Union form, and also all the Magic Knight captains together. Tabata has perfectly written this arc in a way where there is zero hope for the good guys. It makes you think that there has to be some opposing power, some other deities or some other race that can step in that can match the existence of devils. So today we're here to talk about the existence of angels that Tabata has already shown. But for starters, I can show you the existence of that subscribe button when notification bell is on and leaving a like for this video for the YouTube algo. I appreciate it in advance. Now, we already know in different mythologies and different religions and according to the Bible is that devils are the complete opposite of angels. They are the counterparts to the angels. Is good versus bad. Not all the time, but typically within stories is that one doesn't exist without the other. And we know that Lucifer, when he fell down to heaven, he had 1/3 of the angels with him in this rebellion against God, which him and the other angels become fallen angels. That's where we get the term from. Now, since we have devils within the story of Black Clover and also Lucifero, it's easy to think that they are fallen angels, right? However, if we just went based off the theme of devils and Lucifero, that's still not enough evidence that angels exist within the story. However, there is one theme that Tabata has implemented within the story that screams out that yes, angels actually exist, and that is with the Kabbalah lore that Tabata has implemented within the Elf arc. In the Kabbalah, you have the Tree of Life, and on the Tree of Life, the good side of it, you have 10 positive attributes. In the Elf arc, we saw these 10 attributes, which are the 10 apostles of Sephiroth. Tabata has got this reference from the Kabbalah lore, and the interesting thing about the Kabbalah lore is that these 10 positive attributes are all guarded by angels. Does this mean that the angels are actually the elves in the story of Black Clover? No, that does not mean that. They are the representations of the attributes, where in the Kabbalah lore, the angels guard the attributes, and their attributes in the story of Black Clover could represent the magic attributes that the elves have, because they are very connected to the gods of Black Clover. We saw when David was possessed that he explained that the 10 apostles of Sephiroth are the only ones that can receive divine revelations and open up the Shadow Palace. In the Kabbalah lore, it's explained that God created the Tree of Life for the attributes to be placed there. So these divine revelations that the 10 apostles can receive had to come from God. And the reason why we know that the elves know about God is because Patri said that their powers also rivaled the gods. They had powers to change the weather and also manipulate ley lines, which based off Patri's statement, it sounds like the elves in the past had the power of true magic and ultimate magic, which isn't very surprising. So it makes sense why the 10 apostles are so connected to God in the story of Black Clover, because they are able to receive divine revelations and they also have powers that can rival the gods. And the reason why that statement from David that the elves can receive divine revelations is so important coming from him when he was elf possessed, because he actually wasn't elf possessed. Tabata confirmed in the Q&A last year that he forgot to show this within the story, that before Zagreus, the warrior magic devil, took over Ronnie's body, he actually had David's body in his own possession, and he was the one that gave out that speech that the elves had divine revelations. So a devil knowing that the elves receive revelations from a god, that has to be very impactful, which makes sense why Zagreus hated the elves so much, because of their close connection and power to God, which goes hand in hand in the story in the Bible where Lucifer had a problem and had jealousy for Adam, because Adam, the humans, were made in the image of God, where Lucifer felt as though he was a perfect being, so he didn't want to bow down to anyone, indirectly believing that he is the greatest creation. Now, we know that the Tree of Cliftoff event happened in the past. We're not exactly sure when it happened, but we know that it happened some time ago when Lord Bachika received knowledge from the past previous queens on what can happen if the devils were to let loose if the underworld was open. The Heart Kingdom was founded 1200 years ago, so this could have happened anytime between that 1200 year gap. We already know that in the past that if the war was happening, the elves and the humans had to join forces, which makes sense why they made a pact to the Shadow Palace. It's very likely that the dwarves stepped in to help fight this battle between the devils as well. But I don't think that just their power alone was enough to take down the devils. The main reason why is because the elf that possessed Klaus states that with grimoires and knowledge from this age, we should be able to use magic that is more sophisticated than what we had back in our day. That means in the current timeline of the story, grimoires and magic is way more advanced than what it was 500 years ago. and more complex. So even if this war did not happen 500 years ago and even way further back, there is no way that the elves, humans, and dwarves all together in that past had enough power to stop devils without the extra help from some other deities. I think it's very unlikely that there was a group of mages who were stronger than all of the Clover Kingdom mages plus the captains and Asta back in the day. Even if it was, I don't believe it's enough to take out all the devils. This makes me believe that the opposition to the devils are the angels, and they had to step in to help the humans and the dwarves and the elves fight during the last Cliftoff War. Now what's crazy is that we saw that there were 4 angels, 4 saints that were behind Augustus Clover in the royal capital, in his royal palace. Tabata wouldn't have shown this if the idea of angels does not exist in the story of Black Clover. Now the name of the Power Saint stage is a direct reference to angels in the story of Black Clover. Now if you guys missed my last video last week when I broke down what a saint is, I will bring it here. But a saint is a person who is recognized of having an exceptional degree of holiness, likeness, or closeness to God. And also we know that saint is a title that's also given to angels. And I think it's crazy that we have 4 angels that we saw in that background in the palace, which honestly those 4 angels could also represent the 4 spirits, the 4 elemental spirits, or a representation of the 4 saint stage mages in the past. So far we only seen 3 characters who has been shown to use a power of a spirit, which is Yuno with the wind spirit, Figolion with the flame spirit or the fire spirit, whichever wording, and we have Noel with the water spirit. However, 2 of these characters only achieved the power of Saint Stage. Figolion is the only one we have not seen use Saint Stage yet, and we know someone out there has the Earth Spirit, but that has yet to be revealed. However, the way that the Magic Knight captains are now, they are not even strong enough to face off a 50% Lucifero. So how can they have the power, or who could help them to take out these devils and aid them in this war? I think we can all agree that it has to be angels. Because honestly, it would be very cool even if angels was to come in this series and we see that we have characters who have devil union, we have characters who have spirit union with their spirits, but what if there was actually an angel union? It's very possible because we have all these unifications of powers, but it's also possible that angels have a forbidden union with humans or elves or any other species. They weren't allowed. Because I don't see, even if that was the case, that there was a angel binding ritual just like the devil binder ritual. No, I think the ritual with the angels probably had to happen where an angel had to see you as worthy for them to aid you in battle. Just like the Valkyrie in Norse mythology, just based off their description, is very similar to angels, where they aid the chosen warriors and aid them in battle if they were worthy. And now that we know that the Kabbalah lore is based off the angels, the 10 attributes that they guard, and we see names like Samael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Michael, it's very possible that this consistent scar we have been seeing on Lucifero that Tabata has constantly been showing and been very consistent keeping this scar shown to us, that Michael was probably the one that gave Lucifero the scar in the old Cliftoff War, if Michael the Archangel actually exists in Black Clover. Because in the Bible, Michael led the troops to stop Lucifer, which resulted into him being cast out in heaven. So if Lucifer was a fallen angel, that could have been the reference that Tabata is showing here by constantly showing this scar. Because clearly something is going on around Lucy's chest, and maybe we'll find that information out once we get a backstory on this character, which would explain why Lucy was so angry at Asta when he realized that Asta can hurt him and probably gave him PTSD, which would explain his anger issues. However, the bottom line is currently right now in the story, the Magic Knights and Asta need some help. They need some reinforcements, because if they get reinforcements just from regular humans or regular elves, it's not enough anymore. They need something else that can match the power of devils. Tabata currently right now can only give these characters so many power-ups. They need to master what they have already and have extra help from reinforcements. But you guys let me know in the comment section, do you believe angels already exist in the story of Black Clover, and will they be the reinforcements that the Magic Knights need? Check out my other anime and manga content. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves. Stay blessed. And we out.